Welcome to today's episode of Essential Oil Education. Today we'll be discussing two more methods of extraction, that of solvent extraction and expression. So, solvent extraction, you say, what does that mean and what does that entail? Well, I'm going to give you the lowdown in very simplistic terms because I don't know it deeply enough or professionally enough to actually get into the very fine details, and that's not what this video series is about. So, solvent extraction produces absolutes and concretes, not essential oils. It is often used where the plant matter is too delicate to go through the other methods of extraction, such as steam distillation or expression. And typically, the solvent used for essential oils and aromatherapy is hexane. Now, there are other solvents that can be used and are sometimes used, but that's typically the one you'll find most often. The amount of solvent that ends up in the final absolute at the end is in the 1 to 5 parts per million range, so very, 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 very small. The basics of how this works is the plant matter is passed through the solvent is passed through the plant matter. That solvent takes all those plant volatile molecules and substances. That creates what is known as a concrete. So that is the solvent with all of the plant volatiles. From there, it gets cooled so that any waxes or solid portions will get solidified, and then from there it is filtered to take those solid pieces out, where it is then mixed with alcohol and washed. The alcohol pulls out the aromatic compounds and the plant volatile compounds that have been dissolved in the solvent. Then the alcohol is permitted to evaporate, leaving behind the plant volatiles and aromatic compounds. This leaves us with what is known as an absolute. And that is a very, very basic rundown of the process. Solvent extraction, ladies and gentlemen, in a very simplified fashion. On the flip side, we've got expression. Now, most commonly, expression is used for citrus oils, though it's not exclusive to citrus, but that is typically where you find it being used. It is a mechanical process. They basically press the plant matter and squeeze out the plant volatiles. Now, there's two ways that this can be done. You can either use just the peels and press them to get just the oil, or you can take the whole fruit, press the whole thing, giving you the juice as well as the oil. From there, then the oil is separated from the juice through some form of distillation method, typically. But not in your typical steam or water distillation process. It's very different, so it's not quite the same as a distilled oil yet. It is generally known as an essence when it's been processed through the juice, and it typically has a juicier smell to it, if that makes any sense to you. The only problem with the expression, which is why I said in an earlier episode that you can also get steam distilled citrus oils, is that of course limonene is a solvent and will pick up other molecules along the way, not just the aromatic and volatile compounds. Expression, ladies and gentlemen, in a very, very simplified manner. I'd like to thank you for joining me on today's episode of Essential Oil Education, and hope you found it insightful and learned something today. If you have any feedback, comments, or questions, feel free to leave them in the section below, or you can email them to hello@brotherhoodaromatics.com, or you can contact us through our website at www.brotherhoodaromatics.com. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you look forward to next episode, in which we finish up methods of extraction by discussing CO2 extracts. I hope you have an aromatic day. Cheers. My little haka. Haka, haka, haka. That's a definite maybe. Add fuel to the fire.